Good afternoon and welcome everybody to the Sports Visions radio show and the Sports Visions television show. I want to thank everybody for watching and listening out there. Tell you what, a lot going on. I want to introduce you first and foremost to my good friend and traveling partner, Dale Williams. How are you, sir?
What's up, player? How you doing?
Man, I'm telling you, you know what? Due to the times, I guess I'm doing very well, thank you. I mean, it's obviously, it's not a great time. It's not a time that we've ever seen before, but we got to deal with this, man.
We got to deal with it, DJ, but fear is not in the air.
Not in the air at all. Got a dynamite show lined up for you. We're going to have opportunity to talk to the University of Georgia's athletic director, Greg, of course, McGarity. And Greg is going through a lot, obviously, as all conferences and all sports are. And all the spring and winter sports have been canceled. And we've never, ever seen anything like that, deal.
Never, DJ. I mean, canceling all spring games, all championship games. I mean, really, man, this is the first time all this is happening, DJ.
All right. I tell you what, also we got Reverend Johnny Flakes III. He'll be in Dale to talk to us and give us a spiritual perception of this, you know, what he thinks. I'm curious to pick his brain because obviously we're talking to sports guys, players, but you know, this is an athlete, a former athlete, but he's also a man of the gospel, and to hear his thoughts and you know, just a way to kind of lighten the load a little bit.
Well, you know it's going to be good because I know he's got a great message. I mean, really, it's not going to be a whole sermon or anything like that, but we definitely need some words.
All right, without further ado, let's go to the phone lines and welcome in the athletic director for the University of Georgia, our good friend, Greg McGarity. How you doing, sir?
Hey, guys. Doing very well.
How you doing, Greg?
All is well.
Absolutely, Greg. Let's get right to it, man. Obviously, all the spring sports and winter sports have been canceled. From a standpoint, to the Sports Visions Nation out there, let them help them understand what is actually going on right now. I mean, everything has been canceled, have been suspended. I mean, what's the state?
Right now, our campus is basically closed through the rest of the semester. And so our facilities, and we only have a handful of student athletes still on campus because they couldn't get home. But all our student body is at home. I'm looking down Lumpkin Street right now. There's no cars on Lumpkin Street, which is rare for this time of year. But we're really in stand down. There are probably 5 people in our building. Everyone else is working remotely. And so we're just at a standstill right now and really focusing on our student athletes and their well-being and making sure they're ready to ramp up academically here in the next week or so.
Greg, I know that the CDC and our government has a lot to do with everything that's gone on here recently and some of the mandates. But from a university standpoint, I know that you have the board of directors and the president and yourself. But tell us, talk to us about how that process and how it all comes downhill.
Well, like all other state institutions, we follow the directive from the Board of Regents and by the state system. And Chancellor Steve Wrigley sort of sets the tone. And I'm sure he's in contact with everyone in Atlanta from a state level, federal as well. So all schools are basically under the same guidelines, and we fall in line with that. And you know, it's our job to be part of the solution, certainly not add to any problems that are currently out there in this space.
You know, Greg, with everything being suspended or canceled and all these things, really just moving right along to let's go to July. You know, I know as far as July is concerned, talk to me a little bit about July because I know we always kick off football in July with the SEC Media Day. If you had to pull the trigger on that right now, how would that be? I mean, if anything doesn't get better, talk to me a little bit about how everything's going to be done during the SEC Media Day.
Dale, it's just so hard to predict right now. And that's the thing that the big unknown is certainly what keeps everybody on edge, because if we start planning for something in July, that they move back, August, that they move back. I mean, you've got so many things to think about right now. First of all, it's the safety and wellness and making sure we eliminate the virus and certainly keep it down. Then we're able to be more specific. I don't know if that can happen in a month to where we know more about the virus and its status, but we're kind of in limbo until that happens. But I think we're very fortunate. There's enough technology now to where you can have virtual meetings, and I'm sure that's how a lot of classes will be held at the University of Georgia. But you know, the thing is, it leads over into K through 12 as well. I mean, ACT tests, SAT tests are delayed or canceled. The preparatory classes for them are canceled. So you're looking at a myriad of issues as far as eligibility, certification, you name it, our world is really going to look a little bit different here in the next 4 or 5 months.
If you just join us, we have with us on the phone live the University of Georgia's athletic director, Greg McGarity, and he had a big job, or still has a big job to do, of course, keeping all of his athletic association informed on the next steps, the next day, the next week, the next month. Obviously, Greg, who is the actual go-to person with you guys? Is it Commissioner Sankey with regards to everything as it flows downhill?
Yeah, DJ, we have a conference call at 12 noon every day, and have had, oddly enough, this time last week, the day the SEC tournament was canceled. So this time last week, we were on a plane getting back to Athens, and here we are a week later with everything shut down. So things happen very rapidly. But yes, we have a call. Then Commissioner Sankey will have communication with the other 31 commissioners in college sports. That group has communications with the NCAA staff. So it trickles down to where when we have our information, when we disseminate that to our staff and our student athletes. And we had a 2 o'clock conference with our student athlete advisory committee to update them on everything we knew, because they're kind of lost right now, because we have instruction that will start in 2 weeks or a week and a half now. Right now they're just kind of in limbo and trying to just stay in communication with us, and we try to give them support, advice, to hang in there, and at some point in time this will all be over.
Greg, regarding the student athletes, those international students, there's a lot of some of the kids that maybe didn't have any way to get back or didn't have any means to get back home. How did you handle that situation?
Well, we identified, we have over 550 student athletes, and we have a handful that are still here. They are able to stay on campus in a dorm, with proper spacing, obviously, but Bolton Dining Hall is the only dining hall that's open, and it's kind of like in a takeout mode. So they're able to interact with our academic staff remotely. So we're doing our best we can to support them. Some are on campus, more are off campus in their apartments and things of that nature, but there can be no activity. We can't have any team practices, any individual practices. Coaches can't coach in any sport. Recruiting's off until April 15th. So right now, everybody is just sort of planning for the future and catching up on maybe professional development, but also staying in touch with our young people.
Greg, I appreciate you giving us an update on the coronavirus and all that stuff, but talk to me about some good things about the University of Georgia. We down here at Auburn and Alabama, folks all around us. Talk to us about some good things that are going on, even in the midst of all this coronavirus stuff.
Well, I feel very confident that when we all get the green light to come back, that maybe we'll look at sports a little bit differently. We know they are an important part of the fabric in America, but I think we were tilted over maybe a little bit too much towards sports being everything and winning and losing being the ultimate decider. So back when you guys were playing and I was here, it wasn't so much pressure to win every game. There's always pressure, but it just seemed like it got ramped up way too much. And so I think people are going to look forward to coming back and being with 90,000 people and being able to tailgate and being able to have face-to-face communication. So if anything, it might set the reset button. And we may look at things a little bit differently. That may just be wishful thinking, but you're always in it to win it. And I just hope it tamps down the expectations and how much pressure these young people are on a daily basis just to keep up with their academics. You guys know better than anyone what it takes to be able to balance that. You guys did it successfully, but it is really, really a difficult task. But I'm just very proud of our staff, the way they've responded, they've listened, and I said we want to be part of the solution and not the problem.
Greg, you made mention of obviously back in the day, and obviously those were some great days, but back then and versus now is so different in a lot of different ways. Obviously, the financial part of these deals now with coaches and the networks and all of that stuff is so different. But more importantly, Coach Dooley been around, and some of the other great coaches, they have 20, 25, 30-year careers. Now, Greg, you might sign a 4-year deal, and again, I want to know what happens because, again, now coaches are expected to obviously have microwave production. I mean, everybody wants to win, everybody wants to be on the national platform. But when I just want to know your thoughts, and I know we have a damn good coach right now and we're headed in the right direction, but we're seeing so many situations that coaches are locked in or signed into deals, multi-million-dollar deals, and they're either fired after a year or two, or they might jump ship and take a better offer. Give me your thoughts on that.
You know, guys, I've always felt like you should honor your contract. I'll just take Scott Strickland as an example. He came to the University of Georgia with a 6-year deal. And when we discussed, him coming to Georgia, we knew that it would take, 3 years or so to establish the program. I think you've seen that in the majority of our cases. You've got to let somebody play it out. I think today people pull the trigger too quick. There are a lot of big payouts. It does put an extreme amount of pressure on these hires too, because some people just cut the cord, I think, too quick. I think patience is in short demand, and I think it's incumbent upon the leaders to really give someone a chance. If you give them a contract to do a certain amount of work in a certain amount of time, I think you have to give them that opportunity, especially in the very beginning, because it's very difficult to change a culture, alter a culture, recruit, because you've got to get on these young people when they're freshmen or sophomores in high school. I mean, if a coach comes in fresh with no recruiting background in this territory, it just makes it very difficult to close the gap. And we all know what the competition level is in the Southeastern Conference. Everybody's competitive, and it's a very difficult coaching environment for sure.
Greg, let's speak to the senior athletes that are not going to be able to compete during the spring, and this is just lights out for them. They don't get an opportunity to compete. Talk to us a little bit about that senior eligibility piece.
Well, I think the NCAA has already come out and said that restoring eligibility for spring sports is a top priority. So what we're counting on is extending eligibility for really all student athletes in the winter sports, which includes basketball, gymnastics, indoor track, swimming and diving, as well as the spring sports, which really haven't even got underway as far as championship season. So, what that looks like will certainly be discussed over the next few months, but I think it'd be very difficult for the NCAA to walk it back by saying, well, that's something we can't do. I will say it's going to be very difficult for some schools financially to be able to do that. But if student athlete welfare and giving those individuals a chance to finish their athletic career, or those that are just starting, it's almost like we have to hit the reset button, and I know the University of Georgia is very supportive of that.
If you're just joining us, so the University of Georgia's athletic director, Greg McGarity, is with us. Greg, I know that you are the face of our program with regards to the national and the international scope, but I know your support staff has a lot to do with it. I want to give you an opportunity to name some of the guys or some of the people, some of the young ladies that are part of some of your assistants and associates to help you do what you do.
Well, I'm so happy you asked that question, because they're the wonderful people working in the background that certainly don't get enough credit, but I can assure you they're very meaningful to me and the University of Georgia and to President Moorhead. But, like Doris Griffin has served as our point person on disseminating all the information to student athletes and staff so that we have one clear voice and a consistent message, and we update everyone daily on what's happening, what's changed. From our facility standpoint, Josh Brooks, Senior Deputy Director, he's got to make sure that our facilities are cleaner than ever before. We also have a project that's ongoing. I'm looking out my window, and work continues, the Bucksmere expansion, but also Josh is direct report for football as well as men's and women's track. So he's got his hands full in that area. We're lawless with compliance, because we have to know what to tell our coaches, what they can and can't do. Matt Borman is in touch. We've extended deadlines for our ticket orders through April the 6th for football tickets this year, and Obviously, there may be some financial hardship some of our donors have with regard to season tickets, so we ask them to contact us if they have some financial difficulties and maybe setting up a payment plan. Stephanie Ransom, our Chief Financial Officer, my gosh, she's got to capture all the revenue loss and the expenses that will be recouped. So needless to say, it's a room full of very talented people, and many more people like Claude Felton has got to get the information out to everyone. Rhonda Kilpatrick, Leva Gunnels, Leva was around when you guys were.
Yeah.
we have a lot of communication with housing and dining and all different elements of the University of Georgia. So it's all hands on deck, and we're just fortunate to have a very group of dedicated people that are really focused on helping others find the light at the end of the tunnel.
Greg, you spoke briefly about the expansion of Butts Mears building. Any other developments and renovation projects that are going on?
Well, we're so proud to have opened the new Henry Field Stadium at the Dan McGill Complex. We were able to have 3 or 4 matches, and the environment now in that facility is number one. We're really coming off so much work recently. You guys are well aware of the football project, so we had a $4 million equestrian facility addition at that facility. As I mentioned, we're coming off the tenant. And if you just took the 3 football projects over the last 3 years, you've got the indoor building, the west end, and now the $80 million football expansion. That's about $175 million that's in place or in the process of being in place. So, what we may have to do is kind of put a pause on any new projects until we figure out what our world is going to look like, and from a financial standpoint, from an NCAA standpoint, just really kind of figure things out before we get too far ahead of ourselves.
Greg, I want to thank you for taking the opportunity to speak to the Sports Visions Nation, man. I tell you, we waited way too long to do this. We should do this more often.
Well, y'all got my number. I'd be glad to help you guys out anytime. You guys are great ambassadors for the University of Georgia, and we just appreciate all y'all do in the Columbus area. And you guys are great Bulldogs.
Thanks, Greg. We look forward to seeing you real soon, man.
Thank you, man.
All right. With that said, we're going to go ahead and take a short break. You're listening to WRCG, and you're watching CTV Beam. This is the Sports Visions TV show and radio show.
Imagine a life-changing injury. Imagine the fear and unknown. The Houston Clinic Sports Medicine Team, the only physicians in the area with advanced certification in orthopedic sports medicine, treats sports injuries with innovative techniques. The Houston Clinic has helped nearly 1 million athletes live without pain. Imagine getting back in the game. Imagine the best game of your life. The Houston Clinic Sports Medicine Team.
We think you would really shine in the Aflac program.
Aflac? Coach Saban, we have health insurance.
Did health insurance pay for everything?
No, we still have bills.
Aflac gives you money directly to help with those.
Aflac?
And your deductibles, knee brace, whatever you choose.
Aflac sounds like a winner.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
We try.
Get help with expenses health insurance doesn't cover. Get to know us at aflac.com.
For all of your tire and service needs, be sure to visit Complete Tire and Service, 3109 Victory Drive in Columbus. For your convenience, we have a 20,000 square foot state-of-the-art building, premium environment to the customer. For workstations, Wi-Fi, we carry Bridgestone, Firestone, Falcon, and Continental. Our managers have over 125 combined years in the industry. We have 24/7 commercial roadside assistance, DOT inspections, complete automotive services. Our phone number is 706-940-0982. Be sure to visit Complete Tire and Service, 706-940-0982.
Dishes. Not pretty in your sink. Not pretty on your house. Weather interference? Also not a pretty picture. And those long-term contracts and early cancellation fees? The fine print is pretty ugly. With Beam, there are no contracts, channels you want, high-speed internet, and no data caps. And above all, local customer service. Now that's pretty. Ask us today about our contract buyout special in cable and internet bundles. Beam, we're powered by you.
Man, what I'll tell you, it's a great opportunity for us to have opportunity to present our athletic director from the University of Georgia to our Sports Visions Nation. I tell you, man, again, I feel for those guys, and he gave us some information that I think that we can appreciate.
I really appreciate it wholeheartedly, DJ, and really, it just goes back with Greg. He was there when we were there.
Absolutely.
And he was just a student. Now he's the athletic director of the University of Georgia.
Without further ado, you've been watching him for the last 30 seconds or so, but he's a good friend, and of course, he's a great friend of Sports Visions, and he's a great friend of Dale and I. The Reverend Johnny Flex III from the 4th Street Missionary Baptist Church, also a celebrated athlete in his day as well at Columbus High School Blue Devil and a Tuskegee Golden Tiger. Welcome to the Sports Visions radio show and television show.
Thank you, DJ. Thank you, Dale. Really appreciate
thank you.
you all calling and asking me to come and share it in this moment.
Absolutely, man. I know everybody's down and feeling a certain type of way. Everybody loves sports, and sports brings people together. Dale and I talk about this often, Pastor. Old, young, rich, poor, white, black, but there's no sports right now, and a lot of people really are dealing with it in an awful way. But I wanted to bring another voice in, a spiritual voice, a man of God, to come in and just talk to us about it, and just your thoughts.
Yeah, it is really have devastated our world, our country, and our state, as well as our city and our community. But I always say there's hope. There's a silver lining in whatever the crisis is. And I think we have to stay focused. We have to stay focused in terms of our faith. We have to stay focused in terms of what the object of our faith, and we have to not fear in terms of what we are actually experiencing during this time, particularly here in Columbus, Georgia. Our context and where we live is continuing to encourage each other and keeping the faith, but also being very, very pragmatic in terms of our practices and what the guidelines from the CDC as well as from the Department of Health has given to us, but still staying connected. I think that's very, very important, that we not lose that communication, that relationship that we have within our community.
I know with regards to the CDC and everything, all their mandates, of the coronavirus, is stay safe. Having this certain distance. I forget the word to it, but washing your hands, social discipline. But you know what? I think people need to cleanse their minds and their brains too with regards to this thing, because obviously, there's some things that you can do, but you're not in control of this. This is the man upstairs is ultimately in control, but at the same time, what do you suggest people do when all things, when they throw their hands up and say, I don't have nothing to eat, I can't go nowhere, I can't go outside, I can't go to work?
Yeah, I think we have to stay really informed based on the facts, and not become hopeless, but know the resources that's available within our communities, whether it's through the school. The schools have done a wonderful job in terms of really looking at how they can help the children and helping the kids, as well as the teenagers, to continue in terms of their preparation in their schoolwork. So I think that's great. But I think there are many organizations who are there to provide food and the making efforts in terms of whether their bills need to be paid or whether your utilities need to stay on. So I really do believe that there are really tremendous efforts to help those persons who may find themselves feeling as though that they don't have those resources. So it's just having the facts, but also it's staying focused. This is a wonderful time in the midst of the crisis, particularly in terms of the downtime that we have. I think there's 2 weeks that they basically in social distancing, that we can really focus, particularly our young people, in recalibrating their values, recalibrating their courage and preparation as well. When the SAT comes, they're going to have to be prepared to take the SAT. It will come. This too shall pass. And we have to keep remembering that in terms of how do we keep focused. And I think a wonderful way is continuing to read the Word of God and remembering what the Word of God says, that He did not give us the fear. He did not give us fear, but He gave us power, love, and a sound mind. Cast all of your anxieties and your cares upon Him. So I really do believe that becomes a way of encouraging and staying hopeful as opposed to hopeless.
Reverend Flakes, I got to ask you this question. I'm going to take you there, for the last couple of weeks, 2-3 weeks. And one thing that we do on Sports Vision, we always talk about how sports unifies. And I think really sometimes, you kind of touched on it for a minute, that God wants you to focus on Him right now. Sports is not, sports is big, we can do without sports, but we can't do without God.
Right.
Speak to our listening audience out there in the fact about the fear, the doubt, the anxiety, all these things. But really one thing that we do know when we start talking about things in common, we know everybody has, when health is an issue, everybody wants to have good health.
Yeah, I do believe, and I being you all being athletes and former athletes and other athletes, we were always taught, how to actually perform under stress. Whether you were a defensive player and you were basically backed up by the opponent, to the 5-yard line, you had this saying and you had this mantra, we may bend but we don't break. You know what I'm saying? When you're basically pushing the ball down, you're an offensive player, you're basically, your goal is to get across the goal line. So the pressure may be, 4th and 1, but we're going to take it to the house, So we've been taught as athletes how to deal with the pressures of life. If you translate that to life, I had a coach, Coach Sism, the late Coach Sism always says is that football is, yes, it's a game, but it's also a teacher of life. If you translate that to life, as it relates to the spiritual, okay, there is a spiritual playbook. And one of the things that I continue to say to the athletes that I come in contact with, one of the spiritual playbooks is Philippians chapter number 4, verse 6 through 7. It says, do not be anxious about anything, but in everything by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving, let your requests be made known to God. So we thank God for the ability still, if those athletes who still have eligibility to play, you thank God for the opportunity to play still. You have a reprieve if you've been injured, for your body to heal and get stronger, for your mind to get stronger, and you still have the opportunity to contact other players. You still can have that bond among the fellowship of athletes in terms of reaching out and talking with each athlete. So there are many things that we can continue to do, even in the isolation, even in the downtime, that we can practice more on our skill sets or our relational interpersonal skills of reaching out to those who are teammates.
We love our student athletes, and I know that we got a situation right now. We just had to make the announcement that we're going to have to postpone our Female Athlete of the Year awards luncheon until June the 12th. Of course, April 16th was the initial date. However, I know that the people, the kids, the sponsors, the parents are going to be upset. But again, you got situations where people are not going to have the opportunity to go to their senior prom. People are not going to have the opportunity to walk across the stage and see, of course, receive their diplomas. There's a lot of things. All the sports, spring sports and winter sports being canceled. Folks just don't see any hope right now. And for young people in particular that are watching, that are listening, speak to them again on behalf of this current situation.
Yeah, there's another lesson that I think sports also teach us, if we can really translate it, if we can lift it up, is that you don't win every game. We learn how to deal with disappointment. You learn how to be good losers. As well as winners. And I know that may sound somewhat strange when you say you learn how to be good losers, and we know it as good sportsmanship. That's why during the game or after the game, they would have college student athletes, they go in a line and they give each other high fives, whether you lost or whether you won, so that you don't see yourself as better than. So we have to learn how to deal with the disappointments in terms of maybe not going to the prom, or either maybe not having the commencements, or being able to, because that's going to also translate in terms of life lessons down the road. So we can be short visioned or we can be long visioned as it relates to how we deal with these crises in terms of the coronavirus and not having the kind of access or the socialization that we are used to, but we make the adjustment, we recalibrate, and we know that God is the one that's going to still be in control. He's still sovereign, So it really allows us to really look within ourselves. As athletes, we think we have control over some stuff, but we have no control over anything. And I think there are many lessons that student athletes can learn during this period if they just focus and pay attention and keep hope and encouragement and know that all is not lost.
Reverend Flex, we certainly appreciate your support and you being here today. I mean, you've always been there for us, and I want to thank you publicly for being here and being, of course, a part of all the things that we've done. But before we go, why don't you let the folks out there that are listening and watching know how they can find you and, of course, anything that you are involved with.
Well, thank you very much. I really appreciate the opportunity. And I just want to say, be not dismayed, whatever betide, God will take care of you. We're at the 4th Street Missionary Baptist Church on the corner of 3rd Avenue and 5th Street. We also will be streaming live this Sunday. You can go to 4thst.org. 4thst.org, and you can tune in live, or you can go to WRBL at 8:30. We have a worship experience there as well. So we ask that you would continue to keep us in prayer as we keep you in prayer, and we say to all the student athletes, all is not lost. Take the opportunity to learn the lessons as you are there in terms of taking down time, if you will.
All right, you are listening to WRCG 92.1 and you're watching CTV Beam on channel 207.7. We'll be right back after this.
Hey, my name is George, and I love the Chick-fil-A grilled nuggets. It's like me grilling at home. It tastes very similar to that, except the seasoning. I probably can't season it as well as Chick-fil-A does. The chicken's super tender and honestly the best nuggets I've ever tasted.
My name is Meredith, and a little thing I love about Chick-fil-A's mac and cheese is the oven-toasted, cheesy top layer. If home had a flavor, it would be Chick-fil-A's mac and cheese. I'm passionate about it.
Jesus loves me, this I know, for the Bible tells me so. Little ones to him belong.
Gear up for fall at Academy Sports and Outdoors.
Hello, everybody. I'm DJ Jones. You might know me from my athletic career at Carver High School, University of Georgia, or my sports broadcasting career. I know a lot of people, but when it comes to an attorney I trust, I call Forrest B. Johnson.
I'm Forrest Johnson of Forrest B. Johnson & Associates. And I want to let you know how proud we are to be a part of your community, a part of the Columbus community and the Phoenix, Alabama community. Consider us first. When you or any member of your family has been involved in an automobile accident, remember, car wreck, get a check.
Call now, 706-223-5380.
Should planning your travel be more stressful than staying at home? Of course not. Here at Lumpkin Travel, our VIP service makes traveling easy and fun. Girls Trip! We've helped serve thousands of people and families experience their dream vacation by taking the hassle out of travel.
Thank you.
We book your flight, reserve your hotel, and make sure you have a stress-free vacation so you can enjoy every moment of it.
Thank you.
We even help you choose different activities that you're guaranteed to enjoy.
Broadcaster!
And the best part is, we find you the best price at no extra charge for you. Actually, 95% of customers save money and time by booking with Lumpkin Travel. So start thinking about your dream vacation. Wherever you want to go, whatever you want to do, we'll make it happen for you. As easy as 1, 2, 3. Call today or log on and set up your vacation of a lifetime with Lumpkin Travel, your travel agent for life.
Man, it's free agency frenzy, I tell you, man, when you talk about the NFL and what's going on. Ladies and gentlemen, Tom Brady has found a new home. He's landed in Tampa. Dale, what do you think about that?
I think that's big, DJ, and I'm really just surprised that he went to Tampa for that amount of money, and it's probably going to be more than $30 billion, DJ, but I think at the same time, he wanted out of New England, and I just think it was very obvious with me that this guy wanted to get out of New England.
Well, I think that the weapons that he has down there, they have 2 all-pro receivers, and I know that the good thing about it in Godwin and, of course, Evans, the weapons, he hadn't had that. He's been hamstrung in New England and still performing at a high level. 27, 28 touchdowns, 14 interceptions. That's low production as far as Tom Brady's concerned, but obviously a guy that understands how to read defenses, when to go, when to fold. I think this is going to be really advantageous. And the fact of the matter is that Coach Arians down there, he has worked with some of the biggest names in the business, to include Peyton Manning and, of course, Big Ben Roethlisberger. So he knows and has the personality to deal with what Tom will bring to the table. And he will, along with Brian Leftwich, the offensive coordinator, that's going to be a nice, harmonious offensive room when they start putting that game plan together. And I'm excited to see him play.
It's going to be very interesting to see their offense, DJ, and everybody continues to not speak about O.J. Howard, the tight end. And Tom Brady's a tight end kind of a guy. But I think one of the biggest things about actually him going also, DJ, is that he comes to the NFC South. Matt Ryan's there. Drew Brees is there. Now you got Teddy Bridgewater with the Carolina Panthers. So it's going to be very interesting, and it's a very competitive league as it is already. I think it's going to be very good for the NFC South.
It is going to be good, but again, all these quarterbacks, man, that are getting shown the door. Obviously, Teddy Bridgewater is coming to Charlotte, and of course they're showing basically, our guy the door. They're showing him the door. Yeah, Cam Newton the door. With regards to Joe Flacco just got released by the Broncos. Again, these are some trying times right now.
These are some trying times, but really one thing about the owners and these GMs, DJ, they're not messing around for us having this big, you want a franchise type tag on you, and you want all these extensions, contract extensions. They're not going for it, DJ, because right now everybody's job is up in the air as far as quarterback is concerned. Or either you're going to be the starting quarterback, the long-term quarterback, or we're going to get somebody behind you that can actually push you to be a better quarterback.
Other big news in free agency, the Los Angeles Rams they cut Todd Gurley, man. I mean, obviously after a blockbuster deal, and again, you know what? It's almost a reason to say that's why they don't want to pay Henry. They want to franchise Henry over at Tennessee because, again, when the running backs that get paid end up, tanking.
That's right.
And so it's part of the business, man, but it's unfortunate because I think that Henry deserves all the money that he should make. He should be one of the top paid, if not the top paid.
I mean, really, DJ, really he did. I think he was a great example last year during the playoff and the Tennessee Titans run last year. For him to be able to be franchised and only get $10 million, and you got Tannehill comes in, that he makes a better quarterback. He gets $29.5 million and really 3 year, $118 million, DJ, for a quarterback. And I understand there's some salary discrepancies among positions, but they got to do something about that, DJ, because Derrick Henry is definitely worth every dime he gets.
And of course, since the last time, obviously we aired on the television, at least, Devontae Freeman, we talked about him, and he's going to be a good little back that they'll be out there on the eight, even though he can't do any more for the Falcons, and the Falcons have moved on from him. I think that he's going to land, and he's going to end up in a place where obviously they'll take advantage of his versatility.
I think somewhere he's going to end up somewhere also, DJ, because he's a pretty good back. He might end up in Miami somewhere, but I think even the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they still need to run it back. But I think for the whole scheme of free agency, DJ, man, I mean, really, they're not playing, DJ. Well, you can get the money, but if you don't have the production, they're getting rid of you.
Now, I'll tell you this. Tampa Bay has reported that they have been in contact with a lot of other free agents because Tom Brady has selected to play there. And again, a lot of players want to play with Tom. They know that, it's a possibility that the Super Bowl is going to be in Tampa. Right. Tom is going to be down there, and obviously we know that they're going to be, they should be much better than they were last year. Leon lost 7 games,
7-9.
Oh my goodness. But bottom line is this. If Tom Brady and, of course, Antonio Brown, I look for him to follow and be that third receiver on that team. However, the other guys, I mean, it's great when guys want to play. Free agents that can play, want to come play, and they'll come and play for less money because they know that you are capable of winning or taking it to the Super Bowl.
Well, really, DJ, he has a great effect. I mean, all the way around, for us making his teammates better, making the culture a whole lot better. I think really the cultural piece in Tampa Bay is going to be big, for us, him being that quarterback down there, but actually getting more players around him. That, like you said, DJ, would love to come, whether they got to take less money or not. I think the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are going to be a better team. But at the same time, DJ, the NFC South is very competitive.
Very competitive indeed. But again, we're talking about these times and free agent frenzy. And of course, I saw something that I think, it just blew my mind, obviously, when the Houston Houston traded DeAndre Hopkins, one of the greatest receivers in the league right now. Certainly, he'll be a Hall of Famer. Traded him, basically gave him away to the Arizona Cardinals.
I mean, like you said, DJ, gave him away for a 7th round pick, DJ. That's big right there. So that tells you something that the GM, Bill O'Brien, he wanted to get rid of this guy for some reason, and I don't think he doesn't have to consult Deshaun Watson, but I can tell you if he talked to Deshaun Watson, he said, man, we can't get rid of DeAndre Hopkins, and he goes to the Arizona Cardinals. I'm looking forward to seeing the Arizona Cardinals play, man. I think really the Tyler Murray piece, and now he has DeAndre Hopkins. I mean, they're going to have a nice squad, player.
Let's bag it up. Let's wind it up a little bit because, again, how in the world could a GM let personal feelings get in the way of one of his best players? But again, he's a Belichick disciple, and Belichick wants to run everything. He doesn't want the voices in the locker room. He doesn't want the play. So DeAndre Hopkins, also. What's my big guy? My big defensive end that he traded last year.
Jadeveon Clowney.
Jadeveon Clowney. Something in the water is not cool.
It's not, DJ. But one thing about having a hard-nosed young coach, you got to go through a process too. You got to learn how to coach. And just because you were, your mentor was Bill Belichick, just because your mentor is Nick Saban, you can't coach like those guys because really they have experience. You haven't gotten that experience yet, but really for us getting along with players, and I like what Jimmy Johnson said, you can't treat everybody the same.
That's right.
You can't, DJ, and I think really, it sounds unfair, but you cannot treat players the same. And I think really DeAndre Hopkins is a baller, and whatever you got to do to keep this guy on your team, it's going to take you to the next level.
Bill O'Brien obviously got the general manager's job on top of the head coach's job, so he doesn't have to answer to anybody but the owner.
I mean, that's big in itself, but like I said, man, it's a lot of stuff going on with the free agency piece that kind of almost pissed me off in a sense, but that, I'll tell you, that Derrick Henry piece, that I don't like that at all. And then now you got your boy Cam Newton hanging out there in the wind. Where is he going to end up? I mean, really, it's going to be interesting here down the line.
Tell you what, Teddy Bridgewater getting that $63 million 3-year deal, man. Obviously, I'm happy for Teddy, but I'm a little sad for Cam. But Cam is going to be a bargain for somebody out there.
I think Cam looks good right now in D.C. He looks good at the L.A. Chargers. I mean, Cam's going to end up somewhere real good if somebody chooses to get him, or if he chooses to play.
How about Nick Foles going up to Chicago?
Yeah, I mean, really, man, this guy he must be living a good life. Really, he leaves Jacksonville. He got big money to go to Jacksonville. They get rid of him, and he goes to the Chicago Bears, where he might have a great opportunity to start because the Mitch Trubisky piece, they ain't too sold on this guy DJ in Chicago.
Not at all, not at all. Hey, Dale, let's talk about this coronavirus as it's affecting everything about us. We just got confirmed that Sean Payton, the head coach for the New Orleans Saints, he has tested positive. So, man, this thing, the trickle-down effect is, we don't know where. We're in uncharted waters now.
I mean, we are, DJ, but, to hear the diagnosis from I forget the doctor's name, but really just knowing it's not dangerous, it's flu-like symptoms, it really preys on people that have a weak immune system, but at the same time, it's curable. It's not panic worthy. You're not going to die just because you get it. You can die from it, but if it's treated, you got a good chance of living and really surviving.
Absolutely, and I want to just put this website out there, cdcfoundation.org. Anybody has anything that any worries, any questions? I think that the CDC the foundation has done a wonderful job, of course, by having this website there, and for of course, from the simple things of washing your hands for 20 seconds, to keeping your social distance at 6, 7, 8 feet,
right.
Not being in crowds of more than 10. I think the CDC, the latest number is 10 people. Right. I mean, that's pretty serious, but at the same time, obviously, you got to do what it's not what Chinese arithmetic is, plain and simple things. And you know what? If you don't do them, obviously you are susceptible to getting the coronavirus.
Well, DJ, like I said, we got to side on the side of caution, but I really just from a positive standpoint, this is positive to me. Just around yesterday, I got some stats from the Center for Disease Control. Watch this, DJ. You got a total of 197 people had coronavirus around the state.
Okay.
Do you know how many people in the state of Georgia?
Yes.
10 million people. Those are good numbers. And it's not life or death situation.
Okay.
And I think really just for everybody taking those precautions and really washing your hands, doing what you're supposed to do, social distance, all these kind of things, it's going to get better. I mean, for the gloom and doom part, ain't got no gloom and doom right now. I think everybody's going to get better in time.
Absolutely. We have postponed the 5th annual Female Athlete of the Year Awards luncheon. And again, Dale, I know that we're excited about it. And the thing about it, we're going to have it. We're going to have it. We just obviously, with the times and the mandates as of right now, April 16th is just too soon. That falls in the window of the 8-week period, the grace period that the CDC has laid down, and the mandates that the city has laid down, as well as our Muskogee County School District. And Dale, one thing about it is that we're going to honor these young ladies one way or the other, but it's just a matter of course, our next date is the June the 11th, which is going to be Thursday, the second Thursday in June at St. Luke, 11:30. So you'll have an opportunity to hear from us, but I wanted to put that out there so that you would know that we still pledge to do this awards luncheon.
I mean, really, DJ, I was going kicking and scratching. I was like, postpone, there's just too much time in between them. But really, I got a confirmation from God on this. I think it's good because we're going to have more people that want to be involved. And then all the people, and when we start talking about sponsorships and people helping us do this whole program, DJ, we have to get more people, and you don't want to keep on going back, hitting up the same old people. So really, this is going to give us some time to get it done, but like you just said, we're going to get it done. We're going to honor these young ladies, and from all the sponsors that I talked to about, they're still in. Regardless of what the date is, they're still in. Absolutely. And that made me feel well.
Absolutely, but moving the date to that particular time, the 11th, obviously our schedule is going to be really full in June, because not only will we have that Thursday the 11th, but the Isaiah Crowell youth football camp will be Saturday, June the 20th, and the following Saturday after that, June the 27th, Tim Walton Stay Ready Foundation Seminar, Leadership Seminar. And I tell you, so we'll have a full slate. Of course, 3 big events in this month of June. Should everything come down all right?
What do you mean should?
Obviously you get their parameters, and obviously we postpone to those dates, and hopefully by the time we get to that point, everything will be fine.
Well, I believe in, and we walk by faith. So really for us just having it. 2 weeks ago, we didn't have all these problems. Now we got a slew of problems, but now I think for as June is concerned, anytime that we set, it's going to be good, it's going to work out good, and like I said, everybody still supports everything that we do.
Well, one good thing that we definitely can say is that the magazines have been on the street for a couple of weeks now, man. I tell you what, I'm satisfied with the response. We were able to get the books to the people that wanted them. Of course, a couple of guys dropped by the studio today. I left some magazines for them here, and again, it's a wonderful thing to think. Of course, people now again to see the fruits of your labor. Is one thing, but when you got people that are really, they're just calling you, they're emailing you, they're texting you, they're Facebooking you, telling you that they want the magazine.
That's right.
That means you got something good.
You got something good, DJ, and I'm really, that's about the only good thing I can say about the coronavirus, because really, if it wasn't the coronavirus, I'd be out of magazine.
Absolutely, and the good thing that you have time to read now. When people are busy, got things to do, you know what, and then when you go to the barbershop or wherever you are, the storefronts, the doctor's offices, you know what, you see that magazine, you're gonna be more tempted to sit down and read it now, because obviously you're not thinking about that game, because it's not gonna be a game.
That's right, it's not gonna be a game. And really, hats off to Muskogee County School System. For basically just taking care of these kids. They're out of school, and parents, I guarantee you have I think you don't take teachers for granted anymore, because I know it's a lot of fun.
I know I ain't taking my teachers for granted anymore. I got 2 kids at the house, and I'm sitting here trying to figure out how to do 5th grade math again.
Wow.
Well, I tell you what, just talking about taking stuff for granted. We got an opportunity in just a few minutes, Dale. We're going to have Isaiah Crowell on to, of course, talk about not only what he's going through in his process of training in these times, but talk about the great events that he's had since Thanksgiving, Christmas, as well as the MLK Day. We're going to take this short break. You're listening to WRCG 92.1, and you're watching CTV Bean TV.
For all of your tire and service needs, be sure to visit Complete Tire and Service, 3109 Victory Drive in Columbus. For your convenience, we have a 20,000 square foot state-of-the-art building, premium environment to the customer. For workstations, Wi-Fi, we carry Bridgestone, Firestone, Falcon, and Continental. Our managers have over 125 combined years in the industry. We have 24/7 commercial roadside assistance, DOT inspections, complete automotive services. Our phone number is 706-940-0982. Be sure to visit Complete Tire and Service, 706-940-0982.
E&S Men's Clothing Warehouse has been your most trusted name in men's fashion for more than 50 years. We've offered the area's best selection of top quality, name brand suits, accessories, and casual wear at the most competitive prices around. Customer service is our top priority. We're the professionals generations have trusted for the best quality and absolutely the best deals. We are E&S Men's Clothing Warehouse. We are simply the best.
Come into Chester's Barbecue for our world-famous mouth-watering ribs, smoked fresh on our grill daily. Or try one of our barbecue pork plates with fresh sides. Chester's has delicious sandwich combos to choose from that are sure to please. We also serve tempting home-cooked favorites. And don't forget to take home your own bottle of great sauce. Chester's Barbecue, serving the best food at the best price, with 3 locations to serve you.
People know Aflac. Aflac? But not what they do. So we're answering their questions.
Aflac is auto insurance, right?
No.
Is it homeowner's insurance?
No.
Is it duck insurance?
Nope.
Do they pay me money directly when I get sick or injured?
Yeah! Aflac! You got it! You know Aflac.
Boom!
Get help with expenses health insurance doesn't cover. Get to know us at aflac.com.
And welcome back to the show, Dale. I tell you, man, it's a great time to be in the radio business and television business because obviously, I take pride in, of course, people, journalists, supposedly, a lot of shows are not airing. They're not on the air right now because they're sticking strictly to the X's and O's and the actual game action. But, you and I have been around for a while. We've been there, done that, got the T-shirt, and we can talk about life experiences. So those, at the end of the day, that supersedes anything above and beyond the games.
I mean, it enhances what we do, DJ, because really we grew up from little boys on. We could talk about sports all day, and even when there's not any sports, we can find something to talk about.
Absolutely, and having the opportunity, of course, to get it to a couple of different ways. Obviously, we had the opportunity earlier in the show to talk to the University of Georgia's athletic director, Greg, and it was great to talk to a guy that obviously knew us when we were teenagers, and to know that we've risen through the ranks, and obviously we end up on this side, and he's ended up running our athletic department. It's great that we were able to come back and have show people that those kind of relationships, that's what networking is all about.
That's what networking is all about, DJ. And, really, at just the spirit that's on Greg, when we're in Athens, we really don't bother him a lot, but we just need to, walk around that field with him a couple of times and just talk about some things. And really, he's always been accessible to us. Anything that we've needed, he's always been right there for us.
It's great too that he made mention that we were great ambassadors for the university, because that's what we want people to see. And again, obviously, we want every kid to have an opportunity to go off and play a major college sports. However, you just it's not where you're from; it's what you do when you get there.
That's right, DJ. And really, over 40 years that we haven't even been in Athens, Georgia, and all the things that we do in the community. It's great to know that somebody's watching what you're doing here.
Absolutely. Without further ado, we're going to go ahead and, of course, bring up our next guest. Of course, he's the pride and joy of Columbus, Georgia. And, of course, he right now is a Las Vegas Raider. Welcome to the show, Isaiah.
Hey, what's going on? What's going on, player?
Oh, man, we hanging out. Hey, look, we're having a good time, man. We've been chopping it up. We've been talking to a lot of different people, man. But I know that we are in a trying time right now with the coronavirus, and it's just not in our hands. But what we can control is what we can control. Let's just start out talking about the process that you're in now. I know that you're training. How is that going?
Training going good. Everything. I mean, I'm back healthy. I was just running some stuff today. I mean, it's going good. Just trying to get back in. Just get back in top-notch shape. That's the main thing I'm focused on right now.
Absolutely. Isaiah, I want to do this because we're just fresh off the combine, and I know everything is shut down right now, but I know you most recently, the last 6 years ago or so, you were at the combines, and the people that are listening right now, I want you to kind of paint a picture of the 7 to 8 weeks that you were at your facility in training, because the kids that just went through the most recent combine, half of those guys got their pro days shut down. But training leading into the combines, what's the process of that 6, 7, 8 weeks that you're there?
I mean, really, it's just you basically just training on all the different drills and stuff that you'll do when the NFL come, or when you'll be doing your pro day or combine or whatever. So basically, you just train on all the drills, working on all the drills, trying to get your times down. And I mean, that's the main thing. Is just basically trying to stay in good shape for whenever you do figure out where you.
Isaiah, with the collective bargaining agreement been voted on and extending the league, extending the games to 17, what's your take on 17 games? Playing 17 games?
I don't really feel like it'd be too much difference. I mean, we're already playing 16 games. I really don't think it's too much difference. One more game.
Isaiah, it's free agent time, man, and I know at one point in time you have been a free agent, but again, to think of Tom Brady landing in Tampa Bay, is that a big deal to you?
I personally didn't think he was gonna leave, but it was not a big deal because everybody, everybody trying to run up something at third place,
I know that you have been playing running back all your life, and again, the value of the running back, for whatever reasons, they are trying to devalue it in the National Football League. I know that Todd Gurley, I don't know if you know that now, he got cut today, and when Derrick Henry was franchised. But we're talking about a situation where the value of a running back, and of course you being a guy that can play all 3 downs. Just speak in terms of it, because you have to deal with it. You're dealing with it firsthand.
Right. I feel like it is really. I really don't know what's going on with that. But I know they devalue the running back. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I feel like running backs have to do a lot of work often. If you're not blocking, doing play fake. You know what I'm saying? Or you doing, or you running the ball. You know what I'm saying? Or you going out for a pass. So I don't feel. I know it. Great in the running back, but I feel like, I really don't understand why,
Yep. What? Now, again, you've had an opportunity to make a couple of transitions. You started out in Cleveland, and then you went to New York, and now you're in Las Vegas. What's that like when you're going in and out of these systems, and you have to pick up the terminologies? Obviously you have to be pretty bright. Talk a little bit about that experience.
It's kind of tough at first, but once I'm kind of like a veteran now, because I've been been in the league for a while.
Yes.
It's easy to pick up on, you know what I'm saying? When you've been doing it for a while, it's easy to pick up on. But it can be tough, if you don't know what's going on. So it's not that rough to me. So it's basically all the same thing, but it's just different terminology.
I know you coming off of surgery, Isaiah. How do you really evaluate yourself right now? You think you full top? You ready to roll right now? Or you still got a little bit more work to do? How do you feel right now?
I feel like I got a little bit more work to do. Not as far as no pain or anything, just getting back fully in shape. For the 17 games.
Isaiah, when we talk about playing in Las Vegas, everybody was up in arms about the NFL going to Las Vegas. They're going, the Raiders are there. You guys are the Las Vegas Raiders right now. Talk about, I guess people, when they think about Vegas, they think about the casinos and the hotels and the shows. But, we're dealing with grown men. Like you said, you're a veteran. Honestly, you know what your job is. You know what takes care of your family. It's not like you're going to be hanging out, in the casinos all night.
Oh, right. I really personally don't really much care for the casino, anyway, so that wouldn't be a problem of mine. But I know Vegas, it's a lit city, it's a nice city, and it'll be fun to be there. But I don't feel like it'll be much of a stretch.
Well, I tell you one thing. I know that we haven't had an opportunity to get to Cleveland or New York, but Dale and I have already been excited and talking about coming out to see you in Vegas.
Yeah, we come to see you in Vegas, player.
Let's get to the good stuff, man, because obviously, man, again, you're a great football player, and you've had a nice career, but you're just getting started. But in this community, you never forgot the community. You always have given back. We have several events that you have been a part of. Let's go back to this past Thanksgiving. You fed 100 families, man, and you know, it was a great deal of collaboration with your church. You were able to bring the families in, talk to them, and you had an opportunity to hear from them. They showed you the love. You actually stood in the line and was handing out the groceries as far as the turkeys and the collard greens. I mean, what made you do that?
I mean, really, I feel like I'm blessed. You know, it's a blessing to be a blessing. I feel like I'm blessed. So, I mean, I really just want to give back to other people that ain't been as fortunate as me. So, I mean, I try to come up with different ways to try to give back, you know, and give back, and at the same time, you know, try to keep some type of motivation.
Absolutely, and again, doing that 5-6 years, your mom standing in the gap for you when you were playing. You were injured this past Thanksgiving season, so that's why you were able to be here. But again, showing love, man, and that's what it's all about. And again, that, you know, your mom and your dad and your sisters and your brothers, man. I mean, it's a family affair.
Right. Yeah, everybody try to buy in, try to, you know, help out. You know, we start giving back and stuff. So I appreciate everybody. I appreciate my mom, my dad, you know, for just being there when I can't do it.
You know, Isaiah, like you just said, and we just said that you do a lot of stuff in the community around here. Tell me, what else do you want to do around here?
I really don't have any plans on doing anything major. You know, I really just go, you know, out my heart. You know, something might come to me, and I might just say, oh yeah, I want to do that. You know, so I really don't really try to plan it out. I mean, sometimes, you know, come up with something probably a month or two before, like, okay, I want to do this. You know, try to put it together.
Well, you said that exactly right, and we're definitely proud that we're able to collaborate and help you coordinate different things that you're doing, because something that came to you this Christmas holidays is that you wanted to give away some bicycles to some worthy kids, and we were able to, of course, you and I were in a van packed with bicycles. Your mom had met me out at Academy Sports and Outdoors. We purchased 20 bikes and for 10 boys and 10 girls, and we delivered them to the area schools from from Dawson to Rigdon Road to Diamond Elementary and several other St. Mary's Road. And we went to each one of those kids' houses, and of course you delivered the bikes and said hello to the kids. And man, you didn't have to do that. You could have just, you know, said, okay, we're gonna, you know, come pick up the bikes. But you wanted to deliver the bikes yourself, and again, man, that's special.
Oh yeah. I try to do stuff like that. Really just for the kids, you know, I just, you know, I never really seen that difference to me when I was younger, so I really just want to, you know, give back to them and let them see some, you know, a positive role model and, you know, keep them motivated.
And folks, if that wasn't enough, MLK Day back in January, Isaiah and the Safe House, of course, partnered, and he had a goodie bag that he gave to everybody. Over 200 people there, and you were able to pass out these goodie bags with all the essentials and toiletries and things for the men and the women. And man, that was another one of those thoughts that just came to you, and you called me and said, hey man, this is what I want to do, and we got it done.
Right. Yeah, and I appreciate you.
Now, again, moving forward, we know that you've given free youth football camps all summer that you've been in the league, and last year we had inclement weather. We turned it into a meet and greet, and that's a great time. However, you know, we've set the date this year for June the 20th, and of course, hopefully if everything holds up. I know we are in a situation where we are not in control of this virus, and everybody's trying to gauge what's going to happen, but the date has been set for Saturday, June the 20th, and more details will come. But the wonderful thing that you shared with me that you want to do, not only do you want to do a youth camp for kids, but you want to also do a cheer camp for the young ladies, and also a camp that will handle the high school kids.
Right.
Three different phases.
Yeah, 3 different phases. You know, one to be on that, I guess that Saturday, and the next one try to be, I guess, that next day or whenever we can do it, you know.
Yeah, right. All right, man. Well, I'll tell you what, Isaiah, before we go, I just want you to share with us, again, we've been seeing Chucky and your coach and all. You guys y'all added Marcus Mariota to the roster. Derek Carr, is he the guy that you think is going to lead this team to the next season, or what's your thoughts?
Me personally, I think Derek Carr will be there. He will probably be started most likely. I just don't see anything changing because I know he is a fast player. I know he can get that.
All right, man. man. We certainly appreciate you, big guy, and we'll be in touch real soon.
Thank you, man.
All right. We'll go ahead and, of course, let's take another break. You're listening to WRCG 92.1, and you're watching CTV Beam.